this is Amy. Welcome to another episode of Book Club Discussions. Book Club Picks, I'm sorry. I have 4 books for you today that we've read in my afternoon book discussion. And I'll tell you if we liked them or not. So, the first one is Bleak Landing. It's by Terry Todd. It is a Christian fiction. This one was really interesting. It follows Bridget. She's Canadian. She comes from a really rough family. Her mother's died. She lives with her father, who doesn't provide for her. And it's just about her growing up in this town that's very judgmental of her and really looks down on her, except for a few. There are some saving graces. And it follows her as she escapes from the town and grows up, and it's during the Great Depression in Canada, which was interesting to read about, because usually Great Depression you just read about it in the U.S. So it was interesting Canadian perspective on it. She finds herself at these different jobs and surrounded by different people, and she grows up, and it just follows her growth as a person, and she eventually does have to come back to their hometown, and just how she's changed and how the town has changed, and it just follows her journey. It's really a learning journey for her. And she really gets cemented in faith and faith in God, and how her path changes because of that. We really like this one. The ending was a little tidy. It was a little neat, but it was satisfying. So I'm not going to complain too much. But we liked this one. I had never read anything by her before, so I liked it. It was a good book. The next one is The Broken Road by Richard Paul Evans. And talk about not liking a main character. This follows this man. He's not a good guy. He's kind of a crook, and just not a good guy at all. He's actually, I believe, he's on the run. He's famous. He has fortune. And he starts to kind of question his path in life. And we go back and see, his childhood, how he grew up, and the things he had to leave behind to get his success. And just really makes you, you feel sorry for him because of the circumstances, but it's kind of hard to understand his point of view. He's just ruthless when we meet him, and he doesn't really get much better in this book, but it is the first in a series, so you go away from it kind of getting his backstory, and then I think the next ones that kind of take you on his journey. So it was a good book. Small book. It was smaller, but packs a lot of punch in it, and it was really held my attention. And even though I didn't like the guy, I wanted to see what would happen, and so we had a lot to discuss with this one. So the next one is Caroline, Little House Revisited. It's by Sarah Miller. This one was interesting. It is Caroline from the Little House books, the mother. It's from her perspective. And it kind of follows when they first leave and head out west, and that journey. So it's really basically a day-to-day what happens when you're traveling across the country in a covered wagon with children. So it's a grown-up perspective on the Little House books, basically. At times it was, I hate to say it, but it was a little boring. but it was true to, I'm sure, what they faced on the trail every day. Um, so it was different. It was a little bit different than I thought it was going to be. But it did give you kind of an behind the scenes, if you watched the TV show growing up, was kind of behind the scenes of that. Um, and it was based on, true story and their lives. And so it was different. I wouldn't say we really loved it. We read it and had some stuff to talk about, but I probably wouldn't want to read it again. So, and I'm the type of person that if I love a book, then I'll read it again. So, but it was enjoyable. It was different. So, okay. And the last book is The Royal Nanny, and it's by Karen Harper. This one I really liked. It was based on a true person that was the royal nanny for let's see, it was the Duke and Duchess of York in 1897. So it was Queen Victoria, her children and grandchildren. She was the nanny for the grandchildren. So it's based on true stories. It's like part truth, part fiction. There's some stories, some parts the author added in to kind of give her more of a life. There was a love interest. I don't think it was based on anyone real. So, kind of go into that with that mindset. But it was interesting to read about, all she sacrificed for those children. She basically her whole life she gave to these children, and just kind of follows her. And it was a really good story. I really enjoyed it, even though the parts that I knew were fiction, they seemed realistic, so like something that could have happened. So I did enjoy that too. Karen Harper, she's written a lot of things, so but we did like The Royal Nanny. So all right, so those are the picks for today. There's information at the end of the video if you'd like to join my book discussion after all this pandemic mess is over. And we'd love to have you. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.